and tear me to shreds, rip me apart, chew my ass out, hang up on me, and then have nothing but good things to say about Rush Limbaugh. So here is the first of two. Cut number 4, Mr. Snerd.
Diddley.
Yes?
I think Rush Limbaugh has a lot of credibility.
Why?
Because I find a lot of what he says is true.
Are you a ditto head?
No, I'm not a ditto head.
Okay, tell me something you think is that he's taught you that's true.
That President Bush is a great man.
Is a great man. Now you're saying that with irony, aren't you?
No, I'm not.
Why is he a great man?
Well, look at his fight on terrorism.
What about it?
I think he's doing a great job.
Why? Because
we haven't had another terrorist attack since.
And you think that's because of Bush or because of bin Laden? P.T. Barnum 100 years ago said there's a sucker born every minute. Tell me, are you a ditto head?
No.
No. Why are you ashamed of being tell me you're a ditto head?
Why would I tell you something I'm not?
You're not a ditto head.
No.
Have you ever listened to Rush Limbaugh?
Yes.
How many times have you listened to Rush Limbaugh?
Off and on, a handful of times.
Oh, okay. And you think he has credibility?
Yes, I do.
You think he tells you the truth 98.4% of the time?
I don't know how you can come to that figure, but...
That's his figure. I'm not making it up.
I know. I heard him say it.
Huh?
Well, maybe he's being ironic.
Maybe he's being ironic? Screwing up with his credibility? He's being ironic when he... Are you there? Thank you, Mr. Snerd. Folks, you liberals in this audience, you know who you are. You thought I was going to hang up on this mind-numbed robot. But I don't hang up on ditto heads because there's a possibility there that they can be saved. And I'm out for the truth. And I'm out to have a dialogue. Because if I find the truth, I'll find the funny. And that's what I'm interested in, is finding the funny. Now here's a ditto head that knows the definition of ironic. And who would believe that you would find a ditto head that would admit that when Rush Limbaugh talks about his credibility, Rush Limbaugh is being ironic? Okay, folks, we're going to go on to cut number 25. I want to introduce it to you first. You know, we've come up with another section. This is called Testimonials for Diddley.
Hello, is it Diddley?
Yes?
Yes, you're just so sexy. Oh, is your dick getting hard?
I can't hear you. Mr. Snow, will you translate that? You want to know if your dick is getting hard?
Is your dick getting hard?
Well, I'll look and find out a little later on.
Well, can you look for me now?
I can't do it now.
Why not?
Because I'm on the air.
Come on, Diddley,
I'm on the air. You're not.
Please, baby. Come on, just touch it for me. Oh, Diddley. Squat for me, baby. Come on, Diddley. Touch that cog or rub it for me. Oh, Diddley, come on. Do it for me, baby. Really?
What?
And my pussy starts sounding sloppy.
What?
I ride your dick like a Kawasaki.
I can't hear you. Mr. Slade, will you translate that?
Anyway, he's saying that she'll ride your dick like a motorcycle.
She'll ride my dick on a motorcycle?
Like a motorcycle.
Oh, yeah. Are you?
Thank you, Diddley.
Okay, folks. I'm going to go on to cut number 31, right, Mr. Snerd? Let me tell you folks a little bit about cut 31. Last week, a caller called me up and gave his opinion that if Rush Limbaugh isn't almost always right 98.4% of the time, he could be right 50% of the time. And I told the caller It all depends what almost always means. Now, folks, I got a little surprise for you. I know there's a lot of educated people out in the audience, but almost always is a meaningless expression. Almost always means nothing. And Rush Limbaugh knows that. In fact, he knew the second he started the sentence that I'm almost always blah, 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 he knew that when you put almost in front of always, what follows is meaningless. So let's have cut number 31, Mr. Snerd.
That's the same thing as when I say documented to be almost always right 98.3% of the time. When you put almost in front of always, whatever follows is meaningless. The figure almost always right 98.3%.
Now, folks, that sure sounds like a confession to me, and we didn't have to beat him over his head to get it out of him. He's telling us that he knows that when you put almost in front of always, what follows is meaningless. Not only that, if you notice that clip, he added the word documented. It's documented, and he dropped he added documented, and he subtracted the Sullivan group, the bunch of parasites that we talked about in cut number 2. So he's now telling us that whatever he says is meaningless. So that's why the man has no credibility. And you ditto heads in this audience, you know who you are. That's why when I say Rush Limbaugh is a clear and present danger, that's what I mean. Because he's deliberately dumbing down ditto heads. And that's nothing to be proud of.